Welcome back, everybody. It's Untap Your Go, and today we have some packs to open. And I took a stop at my local comic book store and supported them by purchasing a few Commander Legends packs as well as a Zendikar Rising collector booster pack. Always try to stop at your local comic book store and support them rather than going to some corporate conglomerate store like Walmart or something like that. Always try to support the local comic book store. They need it much more than Walmart does, and it really helps them. It helps you by getting all the cards. I knew that they were going to have these packs. Walmart is always sold out of everything that I want anyway, so anyway, let's dive into it. We have 6 packs of Commander's Legends to open, which are 20 cards a pack, and 1 collector booster for Zendikar Rising, which we will save for last. So let's go ahead and get all of these out of the way really fast. We're just going to slowly graze over the commons and uncommons and mostly focus on the rares and the foils and stuff. And we'll also price out the cards that are worth pricing out. So to slowly go over it, we're just going to fan through these cards. Commander Tower is always good. We'll keep that aside. We're getting into the uncommons now. So we have Vow of Lightning, 3 mana enchantment. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has first strike, and can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. So this kind of goes back to the original Vows. I believe they had these in the very first Commander deck or the Commander precons that were ever printed, that consisted of like Gave and Riku, the 2 reflections, and things like that, Animar and all that stuff. Thirst for Knowledge is 3 mana instant, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. This is pretty cool. Cast Downs, 2 mana instant, destroy target non-legendary creature. And now we're getting into the rares. Emberwild Captain. This is a 4 mana Jin pirate. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Whenever an opponent attacks while you are the monarch, Emberwild Captain deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand. So this is pretty cool. Kind of keeps the defense a little bit. Makes people not want to attack you. Galanra, Caller of Wirewood. This is a 3 mana 1/2 legendary creature, elf druid. Tap to add a green. When you spend this mana to cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, draw a card, and it has partner. This is kind of neat. Then we have again Arcanum Weaver. This is Kalia colors, or Mardu to be specific. Red, white, and black. For a 2/3, you can pay red, white, and black, tap and sacrifice an enchantment to return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a pretty cool effect as well. We have a foil Sky Diamond, which taps for a blue, and we have a rock token, which is just hilarious. I mean, that's just super good. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. So we'll go ahead and keep that stuff separated. Also, I apologize greatly for the format. I'm sure that there's a much better way to do this, but this is just how I'm choosing to do it, I guess. Omen Speaker, scries 2 and enters the battlefield. Inspiring Roar, this is a 4 mana sorcery, puts a counter on each creature you control. Then we have Skyraker Giant, this is a 4 mana 4/3 with reach. Gale Strike, which is a 3 mana instant, return target Gale Strike, 3 mana instant, return target tapped creature to its owner's hand to make and draw a card. Briarblade Adept, 5 mana elf druid. When it attacks target creature and opponent controls, gets -1/-1, and you can encore this, which means exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, you create a token copy that is a copy of this card, and it attacks that opponent this turn if able. Then we have Ninth Bridge Patrol, which is a 2 mana dwarf soldier with 1/1, and another creature comes into play or leaves battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on him, which is pretty neat. Lissalana Bowmaster is a 3 mana 2/2 with reach. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may have this deal 2 damage to target creature with flying. We have Ghastly Demise, a 1 mana instant. Destroy target non-black creature if its toughness is less than or equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. Core Cartographers is a 4 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a plains card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Silverback Shaman, 5 mana 5/4 with trample. When it dies, you may draw a card. Seer's Lanterns, a 3 mana artifact, taps for colorless, or you can pay 2 and tap it to scry 1. Then we have Spectral Searchlight. This is a 3 mana artifact. You can choose a player. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. This is kind of neat, so you can actually give your opponents mana if you really need to. Or teammates if you're also playing like Two-Headed Giant or something. Getting into the uncommons, we have Fencing Ace. This is a 2 mana 1/1 with double strike. It's really cool to equip onto. We have Grafted War Gear. This is a 3 mana equipment that gives the equipped creature +3/+2. Whenever it becomes, whenever this becomes unattached from the permanent, sacrifice that permanent, and has an equip 0. So you can pass this around to your creatures as much as you want, but if you go to equip it, the equipped creature gets sacrificed. This is actually really good if you steal your opponent's creatures, and then you can attack with it, and then sacrifice, to equip to one of your own creatures, and then you're sacrificing your opponent's creature. So that's kind of cool. And then we have Imperious Perfect. It's a 3 mana elf. Other elves you control get +1/+1. You can pay 1 and tap it to create a 1/1 elf token, which is essentially creating 2/2s for 1 mana. Is super cool. Now getting into the rare, which is the mythic, we have Sphinx of the Second Sun. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to read this really quick the right way. This is an 8 mana Sphinx that is 6/6 flying. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase after this phase, which includes the untap, upkeep, and the draw steps. That is super, super, super cool. Really like that. Then we have Sengir Dark Baron. This is kind of neat. It's 6 mana Sengir with flying. He's a 4/4. Whenever another creature dies, put 2 1/1 counters on Sengir the Dark Baron. Whenever another player loses the game, you gain life equal to that player's life total as the turn began. Wow, that's super cool. So like if your opponent started their turn with like 15 or more life or something and they just died to like one crazy combat, then you just gain all that life. That's super, super good. And then we got Elagath Crossroads Augur. This is another Sphinx, 6 mana, 5/6 flying. If you would scry a number of cards, draw that many cards instead. Wow, super cool. And then it also has partners, so you can actually pair this up with something. Our foil is Armillary Sphere, which is kind of okay, I guess. 2 mana artifact. You could pay 2 and sacrifice it to search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them into your hand. And then we have the Prismatic Piper, which is awesome because this is actually a really strong draftable card. So in Commander's Legends, you're trying to draft for commanders, and it's really hard to have the partner mechanic sometimes, but this lets you choose the color before the game starts, and then you can essentially build any color deck that you want with combination of partners. Alright, getting into the next pack, we have Dragon Mantle, which is a 1 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. The enchanted creature has pay 1 red. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Essentially, it gives the creature fire breath. Then we have Prosperous Pirates, 5 mana human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens, 3/4. Then we have Jaloom Tomb. This is a 3 mana artifact. You can pay 2 and draw a card, then discard a card. Pretty neat. Champion of the Flame. This is really fun. I actually made a deck about this in a previous video a couple weeks ago. I really like this. You should check it out. I'll leave the little video card right there. So anyway, it gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it, and it has trample. So this obviously gets very big, very fast. Then we got Aven Surveyor. This is a 5 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you choose one, put a 1/1 counter on it, or you can return target creature to its owner's hand. Then we have Angelic Gift. This is a 2 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and the enchanted creature gets flying. Soul's Fire is 3 mana instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. Then we have Captain's Call. This is a 4 mana sorcery. Create 3 1/1 soldier tokens. So this is pretty cool. So for 4 mana, you're getting 3 power across 3 bodies. And if you're playing token-based strategies or like, anything that's going to pump your team and stuff, like Benalish Marshal or something, this is going to put a lot of power into play. Then we have Farhaven Elf. This is going to search for a land. We have Bitter Revelation. This is a 4 mana sorcery. You look at the top 4. You can put 2 of them into your hand and the rest in your grave. You lose 2 life. Filigree Familiar. This is a 3 mana artifact fox. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2. When it dies, you draw a card. Then we got Opal Palace. This is for our commander. Then we have Benevolent Blessing. This is a 2 mana enchantment with flash. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, and enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect does not remove aura and equipment attached to it that are already attached to it. Wow, this card is actually insane for what this does. I mean, wow, giving your creature protection is super cool, but also being able to have it at instant speed, and the fact that it doesn't remove itself. So if you need to give your creature protection from white, this isn't a complete dead card because this won't fall off of it. Wow, super good. Now getting into the uncommons, I'm going to flip this pile over and then I will put the images on screen for you guys to see. We have Meteoric Mace. This is a 6 mana artifact. Equip the creature gets +4/+0 and it has trample, and you can equip it for 4, and wow, it has Cascade. So you can pay 6 mana and it cascades as an equipment that cascades into something, hopefully anything crazy. I mean, 5 or less is, you can hit a lot of really cool things with CMC that high. Then we got Skilled Animator. This is a 3 mana 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5 for as long as Skilled Animator remains on the battlefield. Then we have Monstrous Onslaught. This is a 5 mana sorcery. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you cast the spell. So even if your opponent decides to kill this or something in response, it's not going to matter. We got Spectator Seeding. This is the Commander Fastlands, I guess you would call them. I'm not really sure what the land cycle is, but these are really good. If these had like the actual land types, these would be like the OG duels. So these are like the second best thing to OG duels, I guess, especially in Commander, since in multiplayer, most of the time you're always going to have more than two opponents. So very cool. I'm very happy that I opened one of these. And we got SER Wardwing Familiar. This is a 2 mana legendary creature bird, which is cool. 1/3 flying. Spells your opponents cast that target one or more commanders you control cost 3 more to cast, and it has partner. That's kind of neat. Ooh, Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. I'm pretty sure this is a very good one, so I'm happy I got this. 4 mana legendary creature, human rogue. You may have Sakashima of 1,000 Faces enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature you control, except it has Sakashima of 1,000 Faces other abilities. The legend rule doesn't imply to permanents you control, and it has partner. Wow, this is super good. So happy I got that. Alright, our foil is Hunter's Insight. It's a 3 mana instant. Choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. Pretty cool. I got that I'm really glad I got that foil, and this is a nice little dragon token for those who would like to see. Rar, he's very anger indeed. I'm just gonna go ahead and clear this up really quick. Alright, starting with the commons. We have Spark Harvest. We can sacrifice a creature or pay 4 additional to destroy something. Ripped Scale Predators, a 6 mana 6/5 with Menace. Scholar of the Stars is a 4 mana human artificer, just 3/2. When it enters a battlefield, if you control an artifact, you draw a card. Lifecrafter's Gift is a 4 mana instant. You put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. Welding Sparks, 3 mana instant, deals X damage to target creature where X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. Court Street Denizen is a 3 mana human soldier 2/2. Whenever another white creature enters a battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. Ambush Viper is a 2 mana 2/1 with flash and death touch. This is one of my favorite Magic cards in Magic. This was originally printed in Innistrad, and my god, this was super fun to play with. Marble Diamond, this is a 2 mana artifact, enters battlefield tapped, and it taps for a white. Bitter Revelation, we went over. This allows you to look at the top 4. You get 2 to your hand, 2 to the grave. Palace Sentinels is a 4 mana human soldier, 2/4. Enters a battlefield, you become the monarch. So it's just a nice way to just get that monarch ability. Farhaven searches for the land. Workshop Assistant is a 3 mana artifact, 1/2. When it dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. We have Prophetic Prism. This is a 2 mana artifact. Enters battlefield, you draw a card, and then it filters your mana a little bit. We have First Response, 4 mana enchantment. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life this turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. It's pretty cool. If you lost life, what, this turn or last turn? It's last turn. Okay, that makes more sense. Now, getting into the uncommons, we're going to flip this over. And this was actually uncommon too, but, Guildless Commons enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control, and it taps for 2. So this is essentially the bounce land that completes the cycle. All the abundant lands, essentially. And this is for colorless specifically, so now the colorless decks have this type of effect, which is pretty cool. Sandstone Oracle is a 7-mana artifact creature Sphinx. It's a 4/4. Enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. That's really cool. Sakashima's Protege is a 6-mana 3/1 shapeshifter with flash and cascade. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any permanent that entered the battlefield this turn. Wow, that's kind of neat. So you pay 6, and then it cascades. Whatever it cascades into resolves first, and then you can have this come in as a copy of whatever it cascaded into, essentially. It's kind of neat. You have Alharu Solemn Ritualist. This is a 5-mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Whenever a non-token creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, create a 1/1 white spirit token with flying and as partner. Pretty good. Keskit, the Flesh Sculptor, is a 3-mana legendary creature, human artificer. It's a 1/3. Sacrifice 3 other artifacts and or creatures to look at the top 3 of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard, and it has partner. This is kind of okay, but sacrificing 3 for this effect is really, really rough. Then our foil is Trusty Pack Beast. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand, and it is a 3-mana 2/3. And we got a treasure token. So this hand was okay. I wouldn't say that we got anything super crazy out of it, but starting with the commons, we have Dragon Egg, 3-mana 0/2. When it dies, you get a 2/2 with Fire Breath. Prying Eyes is 6-mana instant, draw 4, discard 2. Dispeller's Capsule is a 1-mana artifact. You can pay 3 and sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Ivy Lane Denizen is a 4-mana 2/3. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Renegade Tactics is a 1-mana sorcery. Target creature can't block this turn, you draw a card. Strategic Planning is a 2-mana sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Pilgrim's Eye is a 3-mana artifact. It's a 1/1 with flying. It enters the battlefield, searches for a basic to your hand. Cage of Hands is a 3-mana enchantment. Can't attack or block, and you can pay 2 mana to return this to your hand. Entourage of Trest is a 5-mana elf soldier 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch, and it can block an additional creature each combat as long as you are the monarch. Malfeld Twins is a 6-mana 4/4. When it dies, you create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Scab Goliath is a 6-mana 6/9. As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile 2 creature cards from your graveyard, and it has Trample. Trust Pack Beast, we went over this before, we got that as our foil. Path of Ancestry is the commander land. Now getting into the uncommons, we have Furnace Celebration is a 3-mana enchantment. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you may pay 2. If you do, it deals 2 damage to any target. Warden of Evos Isle is a 3-mana bird. Creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast. Noxious Dragon is a 6-mana 4/4. When it dies, you may destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. We got Elvish Dreadlord is a 5-mana 3/3 with Death Touch. When it dies, non-elf creatures get -3/-3, and you can encore it for 7. So this is actually going to kill a bunch of creatures, assuming that you have multiple opponents that you can create this, have this come into play as multiple copies. Ghost of Ramirez de Petrio is awesome. It's 3-mana 2/3. Can't be blocked by creatures with toughness 3 or greater. When it deals combat damage to a player, you choose up to 1 target card in a graveyard that was discarded or put there from the library this turn. Put that card into its owner's hand. Then you have Yurlok Scorch of Scorch Thrash. This is Jund in 1 colorless for a 4/4 with Vigilance. A player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life, and you can pay 1 to make each player add Jund to their mana pool. This is pretty funny. And we have a foil Strategic Planning, which is okay. This is our last pack of the Commander Legends. Starting with the uncommons. We have Dund Operative. This is a 2-mana 2/2. As long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 and has Death Touch. Undying Rage is a 3-mana enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. It can't block. When it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you return Undying Rage to its owner's hand. Runaway Together bounces a creature you control and a creature your opponent controls. Crushing Vines is a 3 mana instant. Destroy target creature with flying or destroy an artifact. Portent of Betrayal is a 4 mana sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Just untap it. It gains haste until end of turn, and you scry 1. Raise the Alarms, 2 mana instant. Create 2 1/1 white creature tokens. Annoyed Altasaur. This is a 7 mana 6/5 with Reach and Trample and Cascade. So you could pay 7 and a Cascade's anything 6 or less. Pretty neat. Eyeblight Assassin, 3 mana elf. Enters the battlefield. Target creature and opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Fall from Favor is a 3 mana enchantment. Enters the battlefield, taps enchanted creature, and you become the monarch. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step unless that player is the monarch. Kinsbale Courier is a 3 mana 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and you can encore it for 3 mana. Elvish Visionary, we all know and love. 2 mana 1/1, enters the battlefield, draw a card. Amorphous Axe is a 2 mana equipment. Equipped a creature gets +3/+0 and is every creature type. That's pretty neat. And it has equipped for 3. Rupture Spire is a multicolored land. Comes in tapped unless you have to pay a mana. Now getting into the uncommons, we have Open the Armory. Search your library for an aura or equipment card. Reveal it. Put it to your hand. That's pretty good. Slaughter the Strong. They downshifted this down to a uncommon. That's crazy. I have these as promo foils from the pre-release of this set. So 3 mana sorcery. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. This is super cool. Scale Behemoth is a 6 mana 6/7 with hexproof. Ooh, Rings of Brighthearth. This is a good one. This is a really good one. 3 mana artifact. Whenever you activate an ability, if it isn't a mana ability, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. This card's great. Amareth the Lustrous is our other rare. This is Bant and 3 colorless for a 6/6 with flying. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Pretty good. Then we also got Blim, Comedic Genius. This is a 4 mana 4/3 imp with flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of target permanent you control, and then each player loses life and discards cards equal to the number of permanents they control but don't own. And then our foil, unfortunately, is Spark Harvest. And then we got a copy token. So this pack actually turned out to be pretty decent. I mean, I'm sure Rings of Brighthearth has gone down a little bit, but it's definitely going to be probably one of the more expensive pulls out of the packs that I've opened so far. So everything is foil in this pack. It's going to be a little hard to read. So we have Zulapart Duelist. This is a 1 mana human rogue. Flash enters battlefield. Up to 1 target creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Its controller mills. We have Might of Marasa. 2 mana instant. Kicker 3. Target creature gets +3/+3. If it was kicked, that creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn. Sizzling Barrage is a 2 mana instant. Deals 4 damage to target creature that blocked this turn. Deadly Alliance is a 5 mana instant, costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Highborn Vampires, 4 mana vampire warrior with 4/3. Skyclave Geopede is a 3 mana 3/1. Trample Landfall. When it enters the battlefield, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. We have Attended Healer is a 4 mana 2/3. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token, and you can pay 2 and a white. Another target cleric gains lifelink until end of turn. We got a foil land. We have a borderless Zareth San the Trickster. We have a foil Legion Angel. We have a cool border Dreadworm. A cool border Territorial Scythecat. We've got a borderless Riverglide Pathway / Lava Guide Pathway, which is pretty cool. We have a foil Prowling Felidar. Ooh, we got a foil borderless Zagras, a Thief of Heartbeats. This guy is pretty cool. So this is a nice little pack, I guess, that we got today. And then we have a foil Drake token / Hydra token, which is the 3/3 that you can use for Grakmaw if you have Grakmaw. And I will add up the total of all of the cards that I've opened and tally it up and display it right here on screen. Sorry that the format was a little rough and everything, but I hope that you enjoyed this content. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the cards be opened and some of the different things that I have gotten today out of these packs. If you enjoy this content, please leave a like on today's video and leave a comment down below telling me that you enjoy this content. And if you have any suggestions for anything else, or you want to see anything else on camera or any other decks when I go back to making deck videos, please leave a suggestion. Hit the subscribe and the bell if you're a viewer and not already subscribed. It really means a lot. It helps the channel. And that's it for today, everybody. So I'll see you next time. Bye.